Hey guys, we're back. About to start Game 2 of Rattlesnake versus DK. Game 1 started off pretty awesome. Rattlesnake took a insanely one-sided victory.
Yeah.
It was great.
Naga with mech and a blink dagger. If you haven't seen the game,
cool.
I highly recommend you watch it if you want to see what it looks like when one really good team face rolls another really good team.
It's crazy. I mean, you guys even predicted 2-0. We thought it was going to didn't end up happening. My name's Purge, by the way. I'm here with Blitz. We're casting for Beyond the Summit for the night. Another match after this one, another best of 2, so lots of awesome Dota content. We can hop into the game, though. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in, by the way. It's been really, really fun so far. DK, going to start off with a gyrocopter. So they saw the OP-ness, and they're going to take it themselves. Alchemist didn't really work out for them, though.
No, just because they were able to pressure Rattlesnake, it's really scary offensive tri-laning against a team like DK. Because, I mean, they run tri-lanes all the time, right?
Yeah.
So it's something they're really comfortable with. And you see DK usually run that safe lane. So it was one of those risks that they took. But they had such a strong offensive tri-lane that Naga AA Earthshaker worked out beautifully.
Yeah,
and they
really
denied
did.
burning all the farm in the world.
I didn't think it was going to be super effective because it's a double melee with an A. Usually when you have two melees, things get a little weird. But, I mean, the combos together were really effective. I mean, Cold Feet didn't have to just rely on the fissure. They could also get the ensnare. And once you get ensnare, you get a guaranteed disable. His fissures were just fantastic. And Riptide as well. The minus armor is just so useful in early tri-lanes against low armor supports like Coddle and Rubik. I actually would have thought that the Coddle Rubik Alchemist would do better in that, but I don't know. I'd have to watch the replay, but they really did get a lot of farm on the Naga Siren. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. It's rare that you see a strat kind of coalesce so perfectly. Everything just kind of came together. You got all the wombo combos off in the world. You got the sleep gyro call down into the Earthshaker ancient apparitional. I mean, you can theory craft all those things, but how many times does that actually happen?
A billion? Is that the right answer?
What's wrong with you?
No?
Anyways, Storm Spirit, it's like they're denying me my hopes and dreams. Storm gonna be banned out by Rattlesnake now.
Yeah.
Rattle star gaming.
Rising Snakes.
Rising
That's
Snake.
what we're talking about.
Oh my god.
I did that one on purpose, guys. Don't hate me.
Okay, so DK, do you know what DK stands for? Is that just like a thing?
I feel like I've heard in the past. Team Dragon Knight.
Team Dragon Knight, alright.
Dota Knights? Dota Kings. I think it's Dota Kings.
Dota Kings?
I think it's something like that.
God, that sounds so lame.
Yeah, it's pretty lame, but I'm pretty sure it's something like that.
If you're successful though, it doesn't matter what you name yourself. Because look at it, Super, terrible name.
Yeah, it's
But
pretty
because,
bad.
yeah, but because he's good,
He's really good.
yeah, you're like, oh wow, Super.
He's super good.
Like how insanely uncreative is a name like Super or Ferrari?
Dude, it's
430.
probably like that typical, like, if you don't speak English super well and you're like, hey, that name's cool, like, Superman, like, but I don't know why it's a dorky English word, but it is, and he just doesn't know that. I'm sorry for him, but there's like Korean StarCraft 2 players that have names like that sometimes, too.
Yeah, but they're good, so it makes sense. You know, if I use a name like Super, people would be like, wow, that guy is terrible. I will not let him in.
There's got to be some, like, really weird names out of people that either haven't been discovered or, number 2, are still terrible, that use English words that are probably, like, really bad. I don't know, like...
I'm sure there are a lot
I
more
almost went
gamers
in a
that
bad
use
area.
like those terribly generic
Like,
names that are
some
bad.
guy's name's like Router or something like that. Just like plays Dota. It's total average, 50% on the skill curve. Hope he never makes it.
Alright, so actually talking about the game, Kunkka gonna be banned out again, Storm gonna be banned out again, Rattlesnake realizing that they don't really have a whole lot of disables. So gonna ban out that Storm, because when you see a lineup like that, you pick up Storm.
Are you sure that's why though? I mean, they banned it last game too.
No, that game was DK banning it.
ZK banned it before. Okay, Rattlesnake banned it this time.
Yeah, just because I think the lineup is perfectly geared towards having a hero like Storm.
Okay.
Especially since you know that 2 heroes off the bat can't really do anything against you. And maybe Rattlesnake actually wants to put Clockwork or Darkseer mid and realizes that they can't really pressure Storm. Or they're just going to run Clockwork as a support. Either way, they pick up like, okay, they just pick like 3 long laners.
0 stuns. All
Zero
long lane. five long lane strat, guys.
But Weaver can play in an offensive tri-lane. That's maybe something that Rattlesnake is just going to continuously go to kind of look to pressure burning. And he's really good against Gyrocopter too. Weaver, just because you can run away from that rocket barrage.
Yeah, if you do put sentries down, Gyrocopter can get kills. Weaver can generally win that lane, though. But once the sentries come into play, things get a little scary, because eating even half of a rocket barrage, Weaver doesn't have that much HP, so losing like 200 HP in a very short period of time can be actually pretty scary, and sometimes change how the lane turns out. So.
Yeah. I actually really like this draft, though, so far by Rattlesnake. It looks really well thought out. They realize, okay, it seems to me that they realized that they were going to take that Weaver before they even banned that Storm and said, okay, we're not going to have a whole lot of disable. Let's not give them the free zip around, do what we want hero.
Yeah.
That does leave a hero like Queen of Pain, though, but obviously DK is just going to pick a hero like Dragon Knight instead.
Really good with Clockwork. You can cog somebody in, drop Ice Path or Macropyre. Works really good with Darkseer on top of that too. I mean, if they could do some kind of a vacuum onto a cogs, I mean, oh my gosh, with a Macropyre on top of it, it's a pretty cool combo. So whereas previous Rattlesnake was completely missing disables, they at least have Ice Path now. They're still a little lacking on things, but I mean, if they can do cog setups with combos on Jakiro, we can see some cool stuff. It's not the most reliable combo that we've seen, but it can be a possibility here.
Yeah, and Chen actually going to be picked up for DK. This is a lineup I actually kind of like more out of DK. They got Burning his signature hero. Well, now it's a signature hero, playing Gyrocopter almost every game, first picking it. But they've got a defensive support in Shadow Demon, and they've got a defensive support / pusher in Chen. Now they can actually pressure. Now they can actually defend Burning. Last game, I mean, you didn't really see any hero that could really keep Rattlesnake from just pushing on into Burning. But now you've got Space Creators. Got heroes that can kind of keep like distance on him, and Disruption is like the best defensive spell.
But isn't that going to limit their overall kill potential in their lane? I mean, obviously there's not that many stunts on Rattlesnake, but is that the solution? Is that what they needed last game? Did they need a safer tri lane rather than one that was going to get kills? Because I mean, their tri lane seemed, I guess their tri lane in the previous game was still pretty defensive, but I don't know. It didn't have that much kill potential, I guess. If they would have been safer, could the Alchemist have just farmed easier? Something
No,
like that.
because the issue is the Naga was going to get free farm. The Alchemist was going to take too much damage. Every time you run up, if you, as an Alchemist and your two supports just play safe, then you're going to get Fissure, Cold Feet, Ensnare, Riptided every time you come up. And they can do that at least twice, and that's enough to kill you.
Yeah.
The first time enough is kind of scary. And Rattlesnake.
What?
This is
I was
the
looking
super
somewhere else, and I came back, and I'm like, what are my eyes?
All right, so now that actually looks like that Storm ban was genius, because they picked 0 hard disables.
What if everybody walks into Ice Path?
Just
Ravage. And then they got
Kind of
Ravage.
like, oh, what are those animals that do that? They kind of walk in. Is it lemmings? What's wrong with
That's
me?
not an animal. Is it?
What?
It's a computer game, if I'm not mistaken.
No, but like, there's that phrase, you know? They walk in one. Yeah.
It's an actual animal? Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
They walk in like lemming. If it's not a phrase, it is now.
I have no idea what that
My
looks
sleep
like.
deprived brain is telling me it's a thing.
Okay, I believe you.
So they're gonna run in like lemmings.
It looks like a kind of a rodent.
Oh god, it's so adorable.
It's like a mouse rodent. It's kind of cute.
That thing's the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. That color scheme.
It has, yeah, it's pretty cute.
Wow, Ice Frog couldn't do a good job designing a lemming. I don't even know where that.
Stop talking. All right, Lycan's the last pick. Where do you think you should lane? Is this a jungle Lycan? Is that still viable? I've seen people do bottle on jungle Lycan. Do you think that's the way to go, or do you think they should safe farm him?
All right, here we go.
There's no long lane for
I'm
DK
gonna predict,
yet.
okay?
Okay.
It's gonna be a Lycan in the short lane, an offensive tri lane with Weaver, Jakiro, and Clockwork, and you're gonna put a Darkseer mid. There you have it. Dunzo.
Well, Darkseer's pretty good against Dragon Knight. If he comes up for last hits, he's going to take Iron Shell damage. He doesn't necessarily take control of the lane with push, because Iron Shell's going to push it equally as hard, if not harder. Darkseer's going to be really hard to kill as well. If he gets into trouble, he can always surge away. I mean, the stun is nasty, but doesn't look too bad, especially unless a Chen ganks with like an Entangle or something like that, like a Dark Troll. I guess he could do that pretty safely. Transition in the mid game, hopefully before BKBs. Once BKBs happen, though, I feel like Rattlesnake is really kind of screwed, though.
Really? I'm actually liking Rattlesnake's lineup. They have this all mobility lineup. They have Lycan's ultimate.
True.
They have Darkseer Surge, the Clockwork's hook, you know, run away, and then Weaver, who's impossible to lock down just because the second ability just kind of lets you flit around in and out. I mean, I'm really liking Rattlesnake's strategy. They kind of have this like prolonged team fight. We'll kind of outlast you because you have no disables.
Okay. That's true, I suppose. They have Homing Missile, they've got Dragon Knight Stun, They've got Shackle, and that's about it. A lot of the Shadow Demons ulti is countered by a lot of these heroes. Both Weaver and Lycan aren't going to have to worry about it. Darkseer could hypothetically surge somebody that gets ulted. Things like that are possibilities. So, yeah, this is going to be game 2, guys. Rattlesnake versus DK. Rattlesnake is currently up 1 game in this best of 2. If they take the win here versus DK, they match them in terms of group stage points, which would be pretty insane considering DK started the day 4-1 and Rattlesnake started the day 3-3. So,
yeah, what a turnaround.
Yeah.
Especially since we all predicted DK would stomp.
Did I say 4-1 or was did I?
Yeah, you said
it's
4-1.
It's supposed to be 5-1, I believe.
Yeah, okay.
Am I wrong?
No, I think it has to be 5-1.
I think it's 5-1 because they played
it's
3
a 6
sets.
Game, yeah.
Yeah.
It's best of 2s.
So they could match them with a overall 5-3. Yeah, 5-3 is a possibility. So let's take a look at the players quick. For the Dire team, they're all picked in. Rattlesnake here. Got Icy playing Weaver, Lanm's on the Darkseer, Luo's on the Lycanthrope, Kabu's on the Clockwork, and Sagam pretty much playing the range version of Earthshaker with Jakiro here.
Yeah, and for DK, we have ROTK playing that Windrunner. We saw him last game, a little bit shaky, didn't really have too much of an impact, but he's a player that, you know, he can turn it all around. He's the Bambo of the East. We've got Super going to be playing that Dragon Knight again, going right back to that hero. MMY playing the Shadow Demon. QQQ, who's currently disconnected, going to be playing Chen. And Burning on that trademark Gyrocopter. That's all I see him play. If it's not an Alchemist, it's a Gyrocopter.
He does like farming, pretty good at farming. Flat Cannon helps out a lot as well. Chen's going to reconnect, so we'll be getting into the game soon. I want to see some item builds for some of these heroes. Lan doesn't look like he's going mid. He has a Clarity Salve Tango, so unlikely for him to be there. So what does that mean? Is that going to be... who plays mid for Rattlesnake? Lan did it the last game because he played TA, but I'm not quite sure who's going to be doing it.
Alternatively, Icy could actually mid as well. I don't know. They have a lot of different things they can do in the setup.
Icy has given a Salve and a Tango, actually, to Luo. Wow.
Okay, Lan looks like he's going in the long lane. And
Wait,
I think Icy...
Is this a support Weaver? He gave a Salve Tango to the Lycan. And he is the Weaver. That's pretty weird. 4 Ironwood branches and a Salve Tango for him.
Lemming Zuna commit. Wow. Alright, our guy just trying to make me look bad. And Kabu actually picking up the supportive gear here. Does that mean a Lycan's mid? Does that mean Luo's going mid?
Is mid Lycan the new meta, guys?
Okay, maybe I haven't watched enough Rattlesnake games. Wow, do you see that boar? It's so pretty.
It's got the rose
petals
effect.
flying
Yep.
from it.
Rose
oh
petals.
my god, and DK's got Stumpy. That's disgusting.
I have that. It's immortal now. It's worth a lot. That was the first thing I bought on the Steam store. And now
Stumpy?
the slow investment. Yeah, that career's boss.
Dude,
I
that's
don't
like
use it anymore, but
the first food I ever ate was
a stump. You eat trees, Will? Is that?
it's like unprocessed wheat. But
And this
anyways,
reminds you of trees.
Kabu gonna place down both awards. He's got Rocket Flare. Lan he's playing Darkseer. He's got the full long lane setup. And
Yep.
Lan
The battle begins.
wait, Sagam actually gonna be playing that Shakira, right? And Icy, okay,
Yep.
so it does look like it's gonna be a mid Lycan. Yay!
Yep, and he did get all this regen pulled to him, so this gives him both a Stout and a Quelling Blade. He's expecting to be against the Dragon Knight, undoubtedly, so he's going to be able to last hit his creeps just fine. He's got pretty good base damage to start things off, so his last hits will be okay, and the Stout Shield's going to block out a lot of the Dragon Knight damage. And actually, was this a missed block from Super here? It looks like it. They're trading hits right off the start, and he's pretty okay with that. They both have Stout Shields and a lot more regen on the Lycan, actually, but Super's going to start things off with some nice CS.
You know it'd be so sick if Kabu, actually Luo let Dragon Knight farm a bottle really quickly, and then Kabu with his Invis rune just kind of pops in and kills it.
Yeah, that would be pretty sick. I don't know if it's going to happen, though. We'll see.
That'd be
So
the Ultraman game.
QQQ is looking around for some creeps, and actually, wow, I love this. That was so cool. Do you see what Kabu just did on the bot lane?
Yeah, he actually just waited by the magic bush.
He stood on the magic bush with his Invis rune, and QQQ is like, where's my runes? And he's going to wait there. Oh, he was slightly off position, just slightly to the right, and did not block this medium camp. So, slight mistake there. If he would have done that, it actually would have prevented QQQ from farming at that camp. But he just went over to the typical large camp. This is a pretty good place to go. Just walk through the trees, look from the high ground, and you're able to take it. So, it's going to be a dual bot. The Clockwork Darkseer is actually a really, really good dual lane. Aggressively. If you do want to pressure a hero like Gyrocopter, and if you keep him under tower like this, he is going to take damage from creeps. He does have extra regen here, but there is going to be a time where you can get a kill on him.
They're jungling together. That's pretty neat.
Holding hands. They need some battery assault, though, that's for sure. But Chen is honestly a nasty hero against this, because you could just easily throw the Hellbear Smasher against these heroes.
Yeah, and Darkseer actually going to do the smart thing here. LANM just going to surge out, realizes the Shadow Demon's coming. I mean, the Shadow Demon has to stick with where the Chen's going. So where one goes, the other goes. And they actually have 2 smokes. They have to see this coming. Luo has to be really careful right now. This is an easy dive setup for DK.
He's going to send the Wolves to the top lane to try to deny and or control that, but it's a regen on the bot lane, I believe. Yep. QQQ is going to pick that up to refill some of his lost mana. LANM picking up level 2, and the Clockwork is currently just kind of standing around taking hits of his Hellbear. Oh, look at the disruption right on the side. Oh, they're going to block him in so easily. Kabu, easy kill here. Man, not the best positioning for him. Shadow Demon on the low ground. That was just perfectly done there. They put the Hellbear Smasher and they blocked him in. Really easy first blood.
Yeah, and actually setting up Burning really nicely. He's got 1,100 gold already to start this game. A lot better than the start they had last game. I actually kind of like that Darkseer Clockwork dual lane. It's really defensive. One protects the other. You know, the cogs are there to block stuff off. But ROTK being denied a lot here at top. He's only got 6 CS. Icy's got actually only has 10, so doing quite well for himself this game. A lot better than he was last game.
Ooh, ROTK is actually able to pull this side camp really well done. Oh, it's only going to be the Satyr Banisher here, so no effective pull there. Sagam doing a nice job disrupting that, but Windrunner's actually at level 3, so this looks a little scary for the Jakiro here. He can't actually trade too heavily, but he can do some ranged harass and try to prevent him from last hitting at least.
It's going to be really difficult for them to actually kill this Windrunner, I think. With just the Weaver and the Jakiro, I don't actually know if they can kill him just with those 2 heroes.
Well, I mean, if you dual breath into an ice path while he's wind running, I think that could set up a kill, but it's going to force Icy to be really aggressive. And again, he went a pretty... He pulled regen to the Lycan, for God's sake, so he's a little bit low on mana. And they're actually shifting the lanes over. Okay, so they're shifting the Darkseer Clockwork to the mid lane. Pretty good magic damage out of this dual lane, so they could possibly kill Dragonite. And then they just put Lycan in the jungle now. They gave him the level 4. He picks up 2 levels of Feral Impulse and 2 Wolves, and he's just going to spend time in the jungle now. Does he have items coming or anything? It's going to be a bottle for him, so a lot of bottles now in Rattlesnake.
Yeah, and he's actually going to pick up a bottle. Looks like he's just transitioning to the jungle. And they realize that nothing can be done about the bottom lane. The Chen and the Shadow Demon are a little too strong. And, I mean, they have no way of killing Burning, so might as well just kind of try to get everyone farm and realize that Burning is going to get farmed no matter what.
Yeah.
Dire's top tower
LANM gets the Illusion Rune denied, and I guess he's going to shift now. It's now Clockwork mid, I guess. There's a 2-level advantage on Dragonite, though. He's only level 3 at the moment. He does do some cog damage, so some mana drain from super. But as soon as he hits 6, there's definitely a pretty good timing window for him killing this Clockwork. As long as he stays close to him and doesn't get cogged out.
Oh, and they're actually smoked up. Hellbear Smasher is right there. Kabu going to just spam out rockets. Push out the lane. This is the smart thing to do. Prevents you from getting ganked. Just forces the lane, and Kabu realizes, I think he should know something's up.
His positioning is really good. It's very safe to hug this portion of the lane here. That way he can run right back to his tower and be very, very close rather than higher up in the lane. Here comes the disruption. To start things off, Kabu does get caught. We will see the Hellbear Smasher land his slow, and look at the stun already. Wow, was that an easy kill. Not only was he ganked by 3 heroes, but man, he started off as a dual lane in the off lane, so even lower levels.
Yeah, what a weird transition, but I think they had to kind of do that just because the Lycan can't really protect himself against ganks like that, and it's better for him to get the farm out. Just the weird thing is kind of sacrificing Kabu to the Wolves, especially since he's going to be such... It's a 2-level disadvantage, and it's a hero that's going to have such an easy time CSing against you, especially with the bottle this early.
Yeah.
I mean, Kabu has no... he has no bottle. He's had to pick up a stick, and he's only level 4. I don't really know what he's going to do against a Dragonite, especially to stop his farm.
Yeah, he doesn't even have sustain. I mean, if he just breathes fire on him, the guy's going to have to pop a salve or a tango and try to get worked up a bit, which he might even do now. I mean, a simple right click from Dragonite ends up doing like 100 magic damage as this ticks away, so I mean, he cannot handle this very well. He's going to gamble on the top rune. It's going to be bottom, actually, so that means it's going to be denied, actually, by the Wild Wing Ripper, I guess. And Chen continues to farm, picking up his level 3.
It seemed like you had such a hard time saying that.
I've never... I thought it was a Wildkin. I mean, it's...
Let's just call it a Wildkin.
Wild Wing is... whatever. It works.
Okay. But anyways, the scary thing right now for Rattlesnake is just the fact that they've had to switch around the lane so much and not actually done too much, and ROTK going to get dived a bit, but Super rotating over. I think Icy would have actually gone for that if Super hadn't come. just because ROTK had no mana left and he was so low.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Well, Super shifting over, he's going to be able to nuke a bunch of the wave. Icy's going to backtrack, wow, into a power shot. So that actually hurts him a lot. He's not going to be able to not going to be hitting full HP for a while here. And Luo as well continues his farming. 36 CS on this guy. This is actually a triple stack here, which is pretty hard for him to kill without a Vlad's, but he's going to grab at least the Hellbear Smasher, I guess, but I don't think he's going to
Oh,
be able to do much more.
ROTK, do you sense this? What is this? Oh god, that would have been so sick if he got that.
Blind power shot to kill a Lycan who just popped his ulti actually to escape from this and going back to base. So a little bit of a waste for his ulti here, but he can actually jungle off of this and hopefully for him get a Vlad's pretty soon, take Roshan.
Yeah, it actually looked like for a second ROTK was just going to game sense that and just be like, you know what? I'll throw this in
Dire's
here.
top tower
Find
is
out what
under
happens.
attack.
But opts to not do that. Super just going to continue to farm. Doesn't really look like he's interested in doing too much else. I think DK is comfortable with this trade right now. They know that Burning's getting absolute free farm, and Super's not too far behind him, especially as a mid hero doing this well, 45 CS.
Wow.
I mean, who's really going to contest him at this point? The Weaver only has 35, despite being the short lane farmer, just because the pulls keep happening, and it's really disrupting his farm. On top of that, the
Dire's
Clockwork is only
bottom
level
tower
5.
is under attack.
LANM actually has had to rotate from bottom to mid, from bottom to mid, from bottom to mid, and Kabu also doing the same. These kinds of rotations can't help Rattlesnake whatsoever. It's just going to make the leveling so kind of unstable.
Yeah, it definitely hurts things. Stun on Kabu actually super swings around. That's an easy kill. Again, we just see Clockwork getting killed time and time again. And the main reason this is the problem is because when he actually starts initiating later, he's not going to be able to do a whole lot more than just cogging and booking it as he hook shots in. Hook shot, cogs, run before he gets bursted down. So we won't see him having as much of an impact in the mid game as a result of all these deaths.
Yeah, and the scary thing is QQQ is level 5, as is MMY. The supports are just getting so many levels. Sagam does have level 5, but it just feels like the level advantage overall is kind of going the way of DK. It's a little more evenly farmed, and actually they're going to defend mid.
Well, LANM's going to surge away. MMY is looking to stop people as well. Luo does have his ulti. Super maybe could have stunned him there. But them getting this kill was not going to happen at all. So Tier 2 tower continues. Burning will do some right click. He's going to get sent back to purchase some items. 2,600 gold in his bank. He's going to make a wand with the Bastilios, and now he'll start his BKB. I also saw TC doing this build the other day on his stream. Seemed pretty effective. You get enough mana where you can jungle a bit and use Rocket Barrage if needed. But most importantly, you get the fast enough BKB that the vacuum isn't going to pull you into the wall, and their only stun isn't going to do anything.
Yeah. The cool thing, though, that we haven't really noted or talked about too much is Rattlesnake's lineup, they don't need to fight. They don't want to fight. That's exactly why they picked this lineup. They have 0 stuns. This isn't a lineup that is meant to teamfight. Oh, and as I say that, they're going to go into a mid on Super, but I think this is a bad idea.
Disruption as well. Super actually taking a ton of magic damage here. Kabu really wanted to dive that, but a great TP from Burning showing up at the right time, and now homing us on LANM. Is he going to be able to Is he going to commit? No, I guess not. So they're going to back off. A little bit of missile on LANM, but he will survive this one, and DK might turn this into a push.
Yeah. And actually, Rattlesnake used quite a bit there. They used the wall and the hook shot, so none of those are available to them, but at the same time, it doesn't look like DK is able to pressure mid. As I was saying, though, the split push pressure from Rattlesnake and just the fact that you have a Lycan being able to constantly pressure towers, you don't actually need to take any 5-on-5 fights. You want to avoid fights at all costs.
At all costs?
Well, I mean, at some point you do have to take a fight. But generally, their lineup is just kind of geared to avoid fights and kind of run people around. It's difficult to kill a Darkseer with just 1 hero, or 2 heroes even. It's difficult to kill a Weaver, just, you know, with the lineup that DK has. You're going to need to kind of chain stun him, and the Dragon Knight almost definitely has to be there, or a Shackle has to hit. And I mean, killing a Lycan is going to take 2 to 3 heroes as well.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's really difficult to pressure all 3 of those heroes.
Well, split push will be their game. They take their first tower top, and Luo's going to be in and out of the lane as well as the jungle. Level 8 for him, and he's got a smoke, so this means a pretty good chance of him actually just going for Roshan. He's going to hold on to this. It's always very important to smoke gank when you do, or use a smoke when you try to take these Roshans, because any competent player is going to say, okay, you have an Ursa, okay, you have a Lycan. You are going to try to take a Roshan early, and I'm going to shut that down.
Yeah, and Luo actually going to show up on the map, shows the smoke. They have to know now that something is up. I'd assume that DK should be prepared for this. I mean, there's a Lycan in the game. It's the same thing as an Ursa. You know, when you play in a pub game, and you know, okay, that guy picked Ursa so he can rush, and speaking of which, QQQ going to get it initiated down in mid.
He's going to go on him. Disruption happens. The Wildkin goes down. Look at that. Clockwork blows up really fast, but they were able to get the Chen at least. More chase. Macro Pyre not accomplishing a whole lot. Some right clicks on the building will fall. So Super is able to take that. Gyrocopter actually getting the last hit as the missile trails through, and he's going to accomplish a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah, and actually ROTK going to TP back top, not letting little pressure, but as I was saying, it's kind of like playing against a Ursa in a pub.
Yep.
You know he's going to go for it. You have to know.
Well, are they going to be able to shut him down? I don't know. He does get his bottle back, so there's going to be enough mana. He pops the smoke as well. Oh, wow, he actually did smoke maybe within ward vision. I don't know if they spotted it or not, but he's sitting in high ground. He wants to make sure he doesn't get spotted, and he's in the camp now. Here comes the wolf spawn, and he will be able to take out Roshan. It's going to take a bit of time since he just says Vlad's and nothing else, but with a little bit of wolf micro, he's going to be okay. And Weaver actually can help out as well. Treads earn with a wand on
he
this
lost
guy.
a wolf.
It's hard not to, man. These wolves die really
The
fast
lemmings.
on Roshan now.
And Luo actually going to tank it now too. Lycan did recently receive a 1 armor buff, meaning that his wolves don't actually have to tank everything. The urn does come off. It looks like they are pinging for Roshan. They have to know this is happening right now. 2 heroes are off the map. Nobody's farming top. Nobody's bottom right now. They don't see anybody on the map. They have to know this is up, and actually it's still going to succeed.
MMY is going to throw Shadow Poison in to get some vision, and there
You can't see it anymore. There's no vision.
Only if it does. Oh, no matter what?
Yeah, no matter what. No vision.
Dang, man. How are you supposed to play this game?
Oh, another pause, and DK, it looks like DK is going to disconnect again, and this has happened to them all game. And last game too, I think it just kind of disrupts the flow of your team.
Yeah, definitely does a bit. I mean, but on the bright side, I mean, if you talk about flow, Rattlesnake already took an 0-2 today because they lost their power, so they had to play their second match, already down 2 games. Did we take that into account, by the way?
What?
The fact that it was Rattlesnake,
Oh,
correct?
yeah, that's
that
right,
lost. They took an 0-2 from a forfeit loss.
They really did.
So I guess they absolutely can't beat DK, if I'm not mistaken.
Wait, I don't know.
Was it a different team?
Wait.
It's Rising Snake, wasn't it?
It was definitely Rising Snake. Those Rising Snakes.
I don't know. We'll work that out later, I guess. Now we're talking about. This is gonna be a possibly good initiation. They have a level 1 vacuum. They actually don't have wall yet, and his surge is almost up. So catching somebody here is gonna be pretty tough. Weaver also working with not very much mana, so if he does end up going down with his Aegis, he'll be okay. But prior to that, it's gonna be
Kabu
tough.
initiated though.
Oh wow, I didn't even notice this.
Yeah, they
this
caught the
from
back
other
line
side.
of QQQ. It looks like they're going to try to blow him up before anything can happen, but Icy doesn't have a whole lot of mana. Luo actually doesn't have enough mana for his ult, but Icy does have the Aegis.
It's going to be really good. This Shen's going to blow up really fast. There's the Macro Pyre, the Ice, the Dual Breath. He pops his heal to try to stay alive. Testa fades as well. Shackle shot. Not going to latch on Icy. He's going to go down for the first time, but he will respawn.
Oh, the
here.
Wolves
I
with
love
Ion
this.
Shell.
So cool. Ion Shell. Wolf able to get a kill here. Icy won't finish chasing this one just yet. ROTK running for his life. Great earn. Awesome juking as well. He's going to sit by the tower. The tower's actually completely deniable here. Maybe he should just go for the tower instead. ROTK throws the power shot. Is he going to go for this?
Oh man, I don't think he should have thrown that power shot. That represented exactly where he was. I don't think Icy actually knew where he was until he threw that. Trying to do just a little too much. That Lycan Invis Wolf with Ion Shell though just did work right there.
Yeah, it was a really nice play. He's got 2,000 gold in the bank as well, so he can start a BKB if needed. The rest of his team goes back to farming, so 5-4 game at the moment if we take a look at the graphs. A little bit of a jump down actually, as Rattlesnake has been able to take Roshan, so that helps out a bit, and EXP also doing the same thing.
Yeah, able to take that team fight just because they did get the Aegis right there, and the best part was Kabu and Sag-M were able to get a free kill on the Chen right off the bat. And the Lycan Wolf with Ion Shell on it was able to pick off MMY. Just getting rid of those 2 supports off the bat is just so big.
Yeah.
That 3-on-5 fight makes it so advantageous for Rattlesnake.
Yeah, it forces the Chen to pop his heal when he is in danger and not his allies. So the 300 HP that he got out of it, or the 200 HP, excuse me, probably didn't heal his supports or his carry that much as a result. So that really does hurt team fights a lot. Chen doesn't want to be the one to die first. He wants to send somebody back and barely save them with his heals, and that just simply did not happen.
Yeah, not really being able to do a whole lot there, and Icy showing the strength of his hero, being able to just come in and out of fights, chase down people. The swarm that he throws out just does so much damage as well, and 3 hero smoke behind him. Looks like they are going to try to take this tower top, but the bad thing is that they're going to just give up a free tower to burning a top.
Well, I mean, on the bright side, despite DK being slightly behind, Burning's got 4 kills and 0 deaths, so he is definitely snowballing. If your carry is doing that stuff, it makes your game a lot easier. I don't know if he's going to TP to the bot lane and die. We'll see. He's almost level 11 though, so his cooldown is going to be a bit better, but might see a hero caught. Actually, this is Luo. There's the first stun, actually. He's going to throw the ulti on this, but Shackle Shot's going to latch Luo. This could be his death. Will it be enough damage? He's running for his life, but he does get killed. Chen picking up the kill. Really, really nice kill there. Lycan, not safe to hide here when you're up against a Windrunner, but the chain stun was enough, and the burst damage, Lycan was able to be killed. Very surprising, though.
That was a little crazy that he was that far out.
Yeah.
Considering nobody was able to help him. Maybe just getting a little too cocky, saying, oh, maybe the damage isn't there. I'll be able to get on no matter what. DK disconnects again. This really can't help their team. I mean, the worst thing about disconnecting, too, is when you get back into the game, you're like, well, what just happened?
Yeah, like,
you have to kinda reorient
what
yourself.
pace am I on is most important. Like, playing Dota effectively is all when you're strongest, and if you just take this 5-minute mental break, you don't know where the heroes last were. You're like, wait, where did I last see that guy? Do I have to be worried about being in this jungle? Things like that are going to be a problem. So I wonder if Lycan was sitting that far mid because his team was formatted pushing bottom. I mean, they're mostly invisible, so with smoke, so it wasn't exactly an obvious thing, but maybe he was hoping a team fight would happen bot and he could take a tier 2 mid. Maybe, was that why he was so aggressive, do you think?
Possibly, but I also think it's just because he thinks he has enough HP to survive.
He was quite
he put
tanky.
himself in like the worst position. If he had been in the open field, I think he would have been perfectly fine.
Yeah, you can't miss a shackle in there, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's the death zone. Do not go in there like in friend.
Well, he'll learn after this game. I'm sure Super's really happy. He's a whole Shadow Amulet past his last game. He's doing a lot better.
Yeah, and double the time. He's actually farmed so much more this time.
A bit more.
He's doing a little better, and DK actually going to come back in.
They just took a little powwow to like congratulate each other on killing the Lycan for just about free. That was Lycan's first death, by the way. Previously had 2 kills. So
They're like, good job, guys. We're bringing this back.
we got this. We got to win this.
Yeah, and actually, Icy going to pick up an ultimate orb. I'd imagine he's going to go for an item like Manta. I think the damage is going to be better and more worthwhile than getting an item like Lincoln Sphere. Actually, DK going to push in mid. Burning, though, is at half HP. This is a little bit scary. He does have a BKB, but there is a lot of physical damage on Rattlesnake.
It's fine. They got a Chen. They'll give him at least 200 HP. He's going to go aggressive. They send him back.
Okay, wow, he picks up both the creeps. 100%
Oh,
worth it.
damn. That's like 140 gold, at least. It could be worse. The gold
Okay, now
isn't
Luo
terrible.
going to disconnect.
This
Power
is,
outages everywhere.
Yeah, this is the best way to play Dota, guys. Just convenient pauses. Super is going to swing to the top lane. He picks up a haste rune. Great pickup here. Shadowblade is generally an aggressive item build picked up on Dragon Knight to initiate. You can go invisible. You can break stun, or break invis with the stun, that is, or more like attack then stun for the bonus damage, and then try to pick off some core heroes. Great initiation targets. If you can kill Darkseer before he walls, it's really, really good. Or Mech, if you can chain stun, of course. Even a support hero wouldn't be bad either, though.
Yeah, the overall farm lead is going the way of DK. The levels are kind of closer in that regard, but still, Rattlesnake does have the advantage of taking that Rosh fight. They did get the Aegis as well, so an overall win, I think, for them in that regard. Icy going to continue to just pressure this bottom lane. This is the best part of Rattlesnake's lineup, is that they can just kind of leave one of their really mobile heroes down there, the Lycan or the Weaver, and DK has to send at least 2 heroes just to pressure him out of the lane.
There's really not a good way they can initiate on that either, unless they had like a Shadowblade on an instant stunner, but well, I guess they do.
Well, yeah.
Wow,
They have the
perfect. Dragon Knight, but still, he's a really important hero. Shifting him all the way to the bot lane just to push Weaver out of the lane and maybe get a kill is something that I wouldn't want to do as a Dragon Knight personally. I'd be like, I want to go farm places, I want to kill easy heroes, I want to kill supports. I do not want to go all the way bot and maybe get a kill on a Weaver.
The thing, too, is if, let's say... okay, let's say Burning doesn't come, okay? And you send the Dragon Knight down with the Shadow Demon. The Shadow Demon has the Purge.
Yep.
Aha. But
Don't see
he
the
pops
movie.
that on the... That movie's terrible. I saw it for you. He pops it on the Weaver, but the Weaver's able to just time-lapse out, and that makes the damage just completely mitigated. So it's a little bit scary going to commit so much to killing the Weaver, especially if it fails. Because that means the Lycan knows, you know, oh, well, nobody's there that can kill me. Running around the map doing whatever I want.
Yeah, Dragon Knight's really the only stun he has to worry about, seriously. We saw it in the
Shackle.
last time he died. Shackle is a problem, but it's unreliable. As long as you're not completely surrounded by trees on the one place on the map where that exists, then you're fine. I guess there's 2. You have to be worried about the spot too. But or maybe if you like make a hole If you're somehow teleported here, it would also be dangerous.
If you
But
just
I
kinda,
don't
like,
think that's gonna happen. So he'll be okay.
he's like, you know what? This is a good place to hide. I like this.
Nobody will find me. I'll wait
We'll
till
just
the next
vacuum,
Roshan.
wait for the trees to regrow, and
That
then
is
signal
so
them.
smart.
They'll
so
never
smart.
see it coming. Have you ever seen my hill strat strategy? When you're super far behind, you just wait on top of a hill for some poor fool to come by, and you just like all pop out on them once.
You talking about League of Legends?
No, it's the hill strat. You literally wait on top of this hill. You force staff everybody into this hill area, and then you just like pop out. Dunzo.
That sounds really good. So we're just gonna. Oh, I'm sorry. We just want to
game's
show
gonna
you guys
pause.
3 seconds of our faces. Let's go back into the game.
We were touching before this. That's
Yep.
why
We had to get
he moved us
proper
over.
for the stream. So, and there it is. Weaver just gonna pop away. Does a little bit of pressure. Puts it under tower. Tower takes 5 damage or so. Not that much. But most importantly, it just causes a Radiant hero to have to shift over. If Burning doesn't want to be down here, it's too bad. He's got to go farm it. He's going to pick up a Morbid Mask next, so he will have some mana, or some HP regen, excuse me. More importantly, lifesteal. But more than Helm of the Dominator, I don't really expect him to grab that much more. And there is threat that his ancient stack could actually be stolen by a hero like Lycan.
Yeah. The great thing I actually like about Rattlesnake's lineup too is it's one of those lineups where you don't really have to commit to a fight, and you put all the onus on DK to choose when to push, right?
Yeah.
If DK tries to group up his 5 at any point without ganking one of these, either the Weaver or the Lycan, who by the way are going to stay on opposite sides of the map at all times, if they choose to go for one or the other, then the other gets to kind of do what he wants.
Yeah.
Because you need to devote so much to killing one of these heroes, right? So if they send everyone bottom, then that means the Lycan can just kind of pressure top, and it puts all the pressure in the world on DK to kind of take these like pivotal fights where they absolutely have to win.
Wow, Burning in a little bit of trouble here. He's forced to pop BKB as Icy almost killed him, chasing him down quite a while. That's where Weaver gets really strong, actually. And as that happened, more pressure comes top. Super's going to have to TP to the top lane as the Wolves are right-clicking on the tower. So, again, they're doing the split push and causing him to lose his 10-second BKB charge. That is just the worst, man. It just really screws you over. He did want to TP home. He wouldn't have popped this, but he was worried about the Jakiro ice pathing, so cost him quite a bit.
Yeah, and they're actually executing this lineup really well. They're doing exactly what I said. Icy's just going to continue to pressure bottom. At the same time, Luo's just going to continue to pressure as well. And I think they're... Oh, actually, he has Haste Rune. Luo's ult is on CD.
And a DD. Oh my gosh, can they kill him? Disruption's going to buy the time, and that stops the TP. That's a guaranteed kill. Lycan goes down. Shadow even surprisingly stealing the kill. Man, that's the best feeling. DD, haste. It's good.
Yeah, but at the same time, IC is going to pressure down this bot tower. I don't think he's actually far along enough. And this is actually an excellent gank because it means that you can pressure, take down a tower, and not lose anything in return. And that's exactly what DK needs to do.
Yeah.
They need to kill the Lycan or the Weaver, then push. If you decide to commit one way or another without doing either of those things, then you're just going to get split pushed.
And split push is still what they're attempting, but with Lycan dead, top's going to be fine for a bit. The rest of the Dire heroes actually sitting out pretty close to one another. Clockwork just going for super cheap HP if possible. And Darks are actually possibly going to pick up a BKB of his own. Just a Ogre Club in the moment in the shop.
Yeah, and I'm actually watching this homing missile following Icy around. I don't know why. It's like
Where?
the most entertaining thing in the world. Lycan actually is back alive now. Not getting too close to his BKB. He did die there. Did lose about 300 gold. So getting further and further away from his BKB. Once he gets his BKB, though, everything should be great for him. As long as he has his ultimate up. Last time he didn't.
Oh, he dodged the missile with his invis. That was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, you can do that. It's really easy. That's kind of why the missile isn't leveled really past 1.
Yeah. This
'Cause
one
it's
time
so
I was like,
unreliable.
I'm going to max missile.
How did that work for
It
you,
was
Kevin?
horrible. But they had like 4 ranged heroes. It was like worst case scenario, but it was not a good time. I would not recommend maxing missile. I love this. Lycan spreading his wolves out. He's putting these on move command on the enemy carries. He wants to know where they are at all times. He's not even close to this, by the way. He's actually farming the Radiant jungle, and he's just keeping an eye on the enemy carries. Really smart. Kabu
making
goes in
sure
on
that
super,
no
actually.
smoke.
Ooh, they're going to catch him. There's the vacuum that's going to pull him in. Actually trapped heavily. Macro Pyre as well. Super dual breath, and they actually get the kill in the jungle, or in the bot rune. That was super sick gank there.
They didn't even have... Did they have detection?
Did they really? No way.
Oh,
Are you serious? Wow. They killed him entirely without detection.
maybe I don't think Sagam had a dust because I didn't see him previously use one beforehand. So I'm gonna assume he didn't have a dust, and by the way they were running, it looks like they were kind of just guessing. But the burst damage was there. It was enough to kill him. They did have enough AoE to kind of just like point and click in a general area to get it off.
Were they right-clicking? I don't remember them right-clicking that much.
Yeah.
Maybe they did at first. I don't
Landam
know.
actually getting really close to deciding to go BKB actually. Pretty smart idea considering he just wants to be able to get everything off and run in. A lot of punching going on by Darkseer. He's got a cone-shaped head. He kind of bash his head too.
Why doesn't he headbutt everybody? Just like
Exactly.
It's like a stab. Like look at his shoulder case. They should put this guy in a cannon, load it with gunpowder, and just launch him at enemies.
You know he's really
People
strong
would die.
because he's got a beard, meaning that he's been alive forever. You know, he's been fighting his
Makes you-
entire life.
Makes you strong.
He's just got like he's got a beard. He's so
Yeah.
old.
So old, the oldest.
Oh my God, we should not cast over this time.
We apologize.
We're just talking about
extremely.
nonsense.
Holy crap!
I'm
look at
so sorry, LD. He just has this
Look
like
at this
really
stack,
sad
guys.
look on his
The
face.
stack looks awesome. This is a 3 dragon, 1 thunder lizard stack. I'm sorry, they're not called ancient rumble hides.
Okay, there's still lizards. Can we just like agree on that? There's
Yeah.
no way we're calling those rumble hides. I don't care if you're a new player and you don't understand. If we say lizard and you can't get the reference, that's on you.
Yeah, guys, come on, get your stuff together. Iron Shell doing a lot of work. Actually, it does do damage to the small dragons, and he's actually had the wolves in the back. This is pretty cool. Actually, Lanham was actually tanking that up largely for the lycanthrope. Said he could get most of these smaller creeps down and increase his farm here. So he should be able to finish his BKB shortly. The rest of the heroes still farm the top lane. It is actually a Linken's on the Weaver, not going to be a Manta style. In some ways, this is very good. Basically, Manta style doesn't give you that much extra damage as an Agi hero. You can dodge some spells and evade other things like, what's a good example? Like Overgrowth, like Treant Overgrowth, Frostbite from Crystal Maiden. It's really good for dodging those kind of skills, but largely it peaks off a little bit. And also, Weaver's so fast that he honestly doesn't really need the extra movement speed from the Manta. It's mostly just really good for avoiding some of those nasty debuffs.
Yeah, and the nice thing too is, oh God, I was so afraid there was going to be another pause. If Super initiates with Shadowblade, you can kind of just not get stunned. And that's like
Because
the
of-
main thing
oh,
that you
because
were
of
afraid of. Yeah,
Linken's.
because of the
Yeah,
Linken's.
that's a really good
That
point.
is the big advantage that it does give you over that.
It only gives you 25 damage as well. Manta's, I believe, about 30, if I'm not mistaken.
Dire's bottom tower is under
26
attack.
agility, so yep. They're actually pretty much the same amount of damage. Much less attack speed on Linken's, about 15 less, but kind of interesting how it does provide very similar things. Tier 2 tower on the bot lane is taking a bunch of damage. The creeps are right-clicking. Kabu wants to go in. He does have his hook shot ready, but who's the target? He wants to go on Chen probably, or Shadow Demon. He actually is going to go on 2. Oh man, if he can cog him in. Oh, this shackle shot at perfect timing. Stops the cogs. Kabu's going to get picked off. Luo's right-clicking, burning, trying to snag the kill here, but he only does mediocre damage at the moment. Treads, Vlad's, and a BKB is okay, but it's not
Oh,
enough.
Icy going to get chained out. And he goes down.
Why was he there?
I think he thought he was invincible.
Did he just go in solo against the 5 heroes? They have a ward down. They didn't even have a sentry.
And they're actually going to snag the Aegis for themselves. The craziest thing about that was if ROTK hadn't landed that shackle shot, that would have been
Yeah.
2 heroes cogged in, but it
Macro
kind of
fire.
just follows in. That was just the worst possible timing. That's my favorite thing about Dota, that stuff like that happens. And LANM, look at it. I think he's actually going to try to high ground, vacuum them all.
Can you still do that? I don't think you can. There's the vacuum. There's
Oh,
the
you
wall.
can?
Catches
Oh, yeah.
everybody. Look at the damage. Great heal from QQQ. Keep him alive. Mech on cooldown for 4 more seconds, unfortunately.
Burning's going to just try to get the Aegis.
Can he do it? He's taking a rocket barrage. There's no way he can take this. Ice Path's going to miss. Great defense so far. That vacuum was so good. Kabu goes down. That was the clockwork, of course. The Radiant team still mostly alive. And LANM is totally ready to do another vacuum if needed. Will he do it? I would love to see another vacuum. Oh, the illusion's actually blocking him in. He can't get into
Wow.
vacuum position. He goes in now. Here
Oh,
comes
he's gonna-
vacuum. Grabs him. 2 more illusions. Darkseer kills Windrunner as a result, but the Aegis goes down. Radiant picks up. That's Gyrocopter with the Aegis now. LANM running for his life.
And that was actually 100% necessary too, considering that Burning's picked up a sacred relic. I have to imagine that's for Divine.
Wow, really? He doesn't build this that often, actually. We almost never see Burning go this aggressive, but the game is pretty close, and I would say that DK definitely has an advantage. Yep, 5,000 gold advantage. EXP is also jumping back in their favor, so with a Radiant, or I'm sorry, not a Radiance, but with a Divine Rapier, they could just end the game if the team fight goes okay. I mean, he's got magic immunity. We saw how much damage Lycan did in the last fight. It was pretty pitiful, honestly.
Yeah, he actually has not a whole lot to worry about, considering the Chen can always send him back, especially with BKB.
That is true.
So I think this is one of those items where DK saying, you know what, we only have one more game to win, so let's do it. Let's go for it. And actually, this is as much going for it as you can possibly get. They do pick up the Divine. That's burning with the Divine. He's got so much damage right now, 450 damage, plus you know, the Flak Cannon. And this is one of those things that you can do to counter the split push. Just overwhelmingly pick up enough damage that you have to force everyone to fight.
Well, they're going to have to kill this guy first or something. Or disable him. Can they chain disable? They don't have that many disables. Maybe Clockwork can initiate on him and keep him away from the fight and force him to kill him immediately.
Take me
and
instead.
be like 5 seconds late to the team fight. How are they going to deal with this? I mean, if Burning gets close enough for Flak Cannon, he's not going to die fast. I mean, even making an illusion of him isn't very good because Divine Rapier is a plus damage item, so it doesn't apply to illusion damage. I mean, it basically gives DK what they need without too many sacrifices. And even having a helm on top of this, life stealing 20% of 400 damage is a pretty good amount. That's 80 HP per right click.
Yeah,
that's a huge heal.
All DK has to do, honestly, is use the rest of their team as meat shields. They have a bunch of creeps to do this and accomplish this. Super as well does quite a bit of damage on his own. He's got a BKB and a Shadow Blade, so all they have to do is put enough distance between the other team and and actually Kawa gonna jump in.
Ooh, he takes a big nuke. That was actually really well done. The force step to come out and the BKBs on all of DK. They actually, that was so smart. They initiated in, they forced them to blow their stuff. They lose the Clockwork ulti, but nobody dies from
now
this.
they're gonna go in.
Now they want to fight. Luo's gonna use his BKB. He's running, looking for Shackle. Thank God for that Linkens. That would have been a 2-man Shackle, but another BKB wasted, this time on Rattlesnake. Can they defend this, or is DK going to go 1-1 against them? They still had the Divine Rapier, but the BKB's down. There's also an Aegis, though, so it's not going to be an easy feat taking out Burning.
Yeah, and Burning actually just kind of sitting back, waiting for the Flak to come back up. Super getting disrupted. Gonna throw down his illusions and go up. Vacuum is used, and BKB actually popped by LANM as well.
What?
And it just looks like 2 BKBs were wasted on Rattlesnake. I mean, they can't do something like that.
Was that just a...
Maybe it was a misclick, because it looked like they weren't going to commit at all.
Yeah, they didn't even look vaguely like that. Here's the Surge. They don't even have Vacuum for another 6 seconds. They could put the wall down, though. Burning's taking some damage. There's a dual breath to do some damage to Super, but Burning, here comes the Flak Cannon. Icy has to backtrack to get out of that one. And the initiation Vacuum is used. Wall immediately after. Not really immediately after. It's a little bit late, actually, and RTK is going to run for his life here.
Yeah, Sagem was actually about to throw down spells as Jakiro, but the Flak Cannon Divine just did so much damage that he went down before he could get anything off.
Wow.
And the melee Rax is going to fall. Looks like they're okay with just trading this off. They are still on a timer, though. I don't think they want to fight without an Aegis, so that they have to go right now. Burning has to heal up. I think right now the best thing for them to do is just go straight down mid. Super, MMY, and QQQ look like they have enough HP and mana to just do the same.
Yep, if any of these guys have Arcane Boots, which the Chen should have it. So Chen does have Arcane Boots at least, but it doesn't look like they're going to push maybe. Burning goes back to the bot lane, and Satanic probably after this. I mean, the lifesteal is really, really nice when you do this much damage. And like we said, he's already pretty hard to kill. Lycanthropes can be turning into a possible Basher and or Necro 3 afterwards, so his damage potential I don't think can actually match the Jaro.
I think a Basher here is really necessary, especially if you don't think Burning is going to go for a Butterfly. Being able to lock him down even for a second would be huge, especially since it goes through the BKB. It looks like Super's just kind of scouting out. This is the push, straight up through mid. The scary thing too is if Rattlesnakes get the Divine, I don't actually know who's... I guess the Weaver would hold on to it, but he's even susceptible to losing it.
Yeah, he definitely is, but man, this guy, if he does trigger Geminate attacks, it's a lot of damage. We talk about how Phase Boots is possibly a good item choice for Weaver. If he can get a Divine Rapier, he's going to do a free 600 every 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, and Super going to get disrupted again. Create illusions of him. Try to push up this tower. It's only at 900 health. The Glyph is popped.
They're going in. Burning gets hooked in. There's the Force Staff out, pushes him out. Actually gets mana drained a little bit, pops the BKB. There's a call down, but can he get any Flak Cannon damage in? Not a whole lot so far, and his Flak Cannon is going to run out. Another rocket is used, and another tower drops. But they're not able to take the racks at least. So Rattlesnake can still hold on.
Yeah, and actually, who force-staffed him out there?
Himself. It's his Force Staff.
Oh, no, I meant Burning. Somebody force-staffed Burning.
Oh.
Oh, I think it was the Chen. That's who it was?
Possibly.
Yeah, just getting him out of the cogs right there as quick as you can.
Oh
Burning
my
still has
god.
the Aegis, and he's going for a double divine.
He has
He's got
another
another
relic.
sacred relic.
Doesn't care about Satanic. He's like, okay, we're all in. Might as well be extra all in. There's the vacuum. There's the wall as well. Great shackle to start things off. Rattlesnake. Oh my gosh. Yep, he doesn't even get his nukes off. Jakiro drops immediately. More cleave coming here. Super is right-clicking. Can they get more? 2 dead heroes. Lycan buys back.
Aegis is down.
Icy's at half. Where is he? This is important. We gotta watch this. All right, Aegis is down. 1,000 HP left on Gyrocopter. If this guy goes down, he's gonna lose his relic.
Yeah, and this is all in for Rattlesnake. They have to start doing something right now. One? What is...
Miss.
Okay.
Oh wow, GG. Seriously, they're giving up. It's over. Burning. They don't think he can get shut down. I guess he's magic immune here. They're like, okay, 1 radiance or one rapier is all that we need to give up. I guess that's probably what he's saying.
Yeah, and actually DK Burning gonna pick up another divine here, and he's gone full on crazy mode. Doesn't have the Aegis. I mean, Rattlesnake can't really fight though. Their damage dealer Weaver is actually out of the fight. Looks like they're all just gonna give up. Good game.
Wow. So DK fights back, ends up taking it to 1-1 at least. Not as one-sided as we saw from the Rattlesnake game before, but DK definitely commanding that game pretty effectively, I think. Burning actually got to farm a lot. 10 kills on him, 4 assists, double Divine Rapier. Wow, 26-minute Divine Rapier pickup was the earliest pickup on Gyrocopter ever in a competitive match. What an insane stat there. So that's going to be it for this set, DK versus Rattlesnake. My name is Purge. I casted this with Blitz, and let's hear what you guys have to say at the desk.
Oh, hey, Blitz.
Oh, hello!
Good to have you back. It seems there are 2 of you now. It's Blitz and Blotz.
Blitz and Blots.
Where's
Blots
Blitz?
Dota.
Where's Blitz when we need him? He's locked in the closet. The other Blitz doesn't
Can't
like
put
him very
Blots in the
much.
closet, man. You can't back me in a corner.
This harkens back to, what was it, 2 weeks ago when I was casting. I think it was I was casting with Luminous, or no, I was on the analyst panel. Lumi was casting with you, I want to say, but Burning walks into the Roshan pit, has the money for a Divine Rapier, sits there, and then he buys an MKB.
Yeah.
And we were very sad. And we said, come on, Burning, you got to buy the Rapier. And then he decides to buy 2 today. Where is the real Burning? What have they done with him? Has he been locked in a closet? Because this was totally uncharacteristic.
Yeah.
But awesome. Don't get me wrong.
I think
awesome.
it was a strategic decision just because if you get the Divine and you lose the game,
Yeah.
well, you're still in control of the group just because LGD did lose 2-0 today. And if you win the game because of it, then, you know, you won a game and you're in the position you want to be in.
So it's a win-win, basically.
Yeah, exactly. So even if they lose with it, you lose in style. And as we said, you know, they had to do something to top LGD International.
Yeah, I said LGD and took all the style points. I still think they get like 90%, 95% for what they did earlier today, but we give Burning a little bit. That was an impressive performance by DK in Game 2, but for Rattlesnake, again, it comes down to their creative drafting and laning decisions. For me, in Game 1, it wasn't, none of the heroes they picked were totally off the wall. Ancient Apparition isn't that unusual. Gyro, not that unusual, but it was just a lineup DK didn't really see coming. DK felt a little kind of stale, predictable, not the strongest laning stage, but then you go to Game 2, and DK, they play that safe, stable Dota. They do what they're good at, and they take it with ease. So I think for Rattlesnake, the creativity is paying off here and there, but for DK, it's if the draft is even, or if it even feels remotely close, I would still give DK a heavy edge.
Yeah, and Rattlesnake, we talked about how sometimes they play off the wall.
Yeah.
That was super off the wall, but it almost kind of backfired on them because they try to do a little too much with their lineup.
Yeah.
But then having to do the ring around the rosy with the lanes, you know, having to switch from mid to bottom to mid to bottom.
That didn't help.
Yeah, they actually performed pretty admirably considering the laning phase went to absolute hell for them.
It's always the problem that you run into when you pick Lycan nowadays is how do you fit them into the lanes? It's very similar to Doom in a lot of ways. We've seen Rattlesnake have similar issues when they go for Doom is where do you put him? You put him safe lane solo. He doesn't really beat anybody. I think we saw one time, is it Luo? I believe it's Luo who plays the Doom.
Against the Darkseer?
Yeah, who against the Darkseer.
Yeah.
Beat the Darkseer that one time, but otherwise, every other game I've cast them, it's at least 4 or 5 where they've gone Doom. He struggles. So the Lycan, kind of a similar hero. If you can find the right lane for him, still fantastic. Has a lot of bonuses and benefits. Easy access to Roche. You can split push really effectively. And of course, you're very hard to gank. But end of the day, they just couldn't find the lanes. Fell too far behind early. And, well, DK, when they get a lead, they don't usually give it up.
And actually, the best thing about that lineup too was even if the laning phase went poorly, they could always rely on the split push.
Right.
But DK did such a good job of being able to just go around the map, picking off the heroes they needed to, killing the Lycan. Especially, I think he played almost a little too over aggressively.
Yeah, that one time when he dies mid, he's like in the trees next to the tier 2, little overextended. I felt like that was sort of a microcosm of the way the entire game went.
Yeah, definitely. And just unable to kind of fully get the ball rolling on their split push style. And DK able to abuse that.
So in the end, guys, well, that's going to wrap it up for our second to last series of Group A. We are not done yet, though. Coming up next, well, we can actually maybe take a look at the groups here, and then we'll talk about what's coming up next. It's going to be DK now guaranteed to be the #1 seed. The faces Kawa makes. Oh, my God. We need a camera on him. It's just incredible. But DK, well, they are, of course, now 6-2. So point being, they're first place in the group. But we'll have one last match coming up next. It's going, and Rattlesnake 4-4. But it's going to be MUFC versus LGD International. This one doesn't really affect what round the teams get seeded into. DK, they'll start in your winner bracket semifinals. As for this match, well, it's just about pride and maybe affects the seeding a tiny bit.
Yeah, and actually, LGD International, if they play the style they did, I'm actually really excited to watch that game.
What could they possibly have up their sleeve now? We'll have to wait and see, guys. But that's going to conclude things for DK versus Rattlesnake. Congratulations to DK, a well-earned victory. They are your #1 seed coming out of Group A. They'll be starting in the winner bracket semifinals when we move on to the playoff stage. But as for now, we have one last match, so we'll take a quick break, and then we'll come back, and we'll be live with MUFC versus LGD International. Stay tuned.